Hey, welcome back to another wet and damp Prairie Sunset Ranch farm vlog. Well, Aaron, why are you smiling ear to ear? Well, this is why. Look at that. We've gotten 2 inches of rain over the last couple weeks. That's fantastic. Seeing we haven't had 2 inches of rain all summer. Is it too late? Kind of, but you know what? It's still gonna help the pastures out for sure. It's definitely gonna help those paddocks out. It's gonna help green everything up. Is it gonna help with the crops? Probably not. It's a little late for that, but any rain is good rain, especially if we're going into fall with some sub moisture. That'd be fantastic. But in this video, we are going to touch base on how I'm gonna get through the winter with feed. I secured 2 sources of feed and I'm very happy. I got very lucky. So I'm gonna touch base on that. Also, with securing feed in an area that is like this, that was drought stricken all summer, there comes some problems, especially with grain feeds. You know, heavy cereal crops. You get nitrate buildups. Nitrate buildups are tolerated by cattle in certain amounts. If you're between 1,000 ppm to 1,500 parts per million, you're okay, but you still have to feed it properly. And that would be for a pregnant, let's say, cow. But you got to feed it cautiously. So I'm going to just quickly touch base on nitrates, and ergots. I'm going to touch a little bit on that, and yeah, I'm going to tell you a little bit of what we're going to do to get through the winter. We're also going to head out to the jungle. We're going to finish up those last few bales. We are almost done baling, and it's not pretty. So I'm going to give you my bale count. It's crazy. This drought has taken so much land from us. It's unbelievable. It feels like I'm wasting it by not cutting it, but I cannot justify cutting 140 acres down for 2 bales, 3. Like, you just can't. It's crazy. So anyways, we're gonna go into that, but hey, that's enough chit chat. Let's batter and get at her. Woo! Well, it is damp out here. We've gotten rain for the last few days. Not a crazy amount, but there's puddles. And look at this pasture. This is I can't believe, I was sure this was done, but it came back green. It's growing again. I can't get over this. This pasture, if you go back a few videos, you'll see this pasture. It was just brown, toasty, crispy, crunchy, done. And look, it's growing. A little bit of rain. It's been cool out, but it's gonna get hot. Well, let's go make that those hay bales up, and then let's talk about my bale count a little bit. Well, hammering out this area, it looks like the clouds are rolling in here. So we've made about 8 bales already. I'm on my second little bay here, or whatever you want to call it. This is a pretty rough little middle section. So I'm gonna try to hammer these out, and then I got another little area we got to skip across to the other quarter just north of us, bale that up. So hopefully we'll pound out another few bales here. These slough bales, I bent a guard here. I had a bump under the little rock. Wasn't too high under the pickup. Bent one of those rock guards up a little bit. I hear the teeth hitting it. I gotta bend it out later, but that's just one of the things you're dealing with out here. You know, it's rough, it's wild. Look at this. So, but a bale is a bale this year. This little strip will be bedding, but the outside, they'll be fed up for sure. Ever give her Swan River. Oh, this is all thistle, so that's why it's not raked. I see a rock sitting under there. Right there. Look at this. Look at this rock. Can barely see it, but it's sticking up about 3-4 inches. So I'm gonna leave the pick. I'm not gonna. This is just thistle. So we'll just leave it cut down. I don't want to. That's why it's not raked up. But these little slough areas, I'm telling you, these slough areas have kept us in operation the last 4 years of drought. I probably got majority of my hay from these little, oh, I gotta cross here. There's a big rock. I gotta make sure the baler doesn't touch. on my last little windrow here. Then looks like I'm gonna have about 52 inches in the bale chamber. So I'm not gonna tie it. Maybe we'll find the other area across the road and just continue on. This bale, well, there's some nice grasses in it. There's a little bit of garbage, but definitely utilize it. Is this a beauty? No, but it's nice quality. A little lopsided. I'm gonna say my monitor's off a little bit, not the driver, not the operator. But this is nice hay. We're probably gonna feed up these wild bales to I guess our calves will probably eat majority of these that aren't too slewy, because we've slowly been cleaning this up for the last five years, probably 4 or 5 years, and the hay is getting higher quality. It's just less because it's so dry. But when we cut this for the first time many years ago, it was pretty rough. Like there wasn't many good grasses in here, but now it's a different story. Holy! It's my seat compressor. This is who we are for a bale count here. 235 bales. There you have it. We still have a few bales to make, but we are done majority of the baling on the farm. So there's not a very good bale count. What should we be at? Well, at 235 we should probably be at, with the land we covered. We didn't cut some of the fields, but let's just say we cut everything like we normally do on a normal year. We should probably be at the 20, easily at the 24 to 28, 29, 3,000 mark for the area we covered. Covered a big area, but we're cutting lots of little rough areas. So there's no choice. There's no options available. You just cut what you can, and we will survive this year. So that's all that matters. It's a matter of surviving and just hoping for better things, more normal of a year coming up. But we're going to be putting molasses, liquid molasses on a lot of our hay because it's poor. At least you'll get a little bit of protein, a little bit of good stuff. So, you know, when you have bad mashed potatoes, you just pour more gravy on it, right? I got some big news, and I can't wait to tell you. So I'm going to tell you right now. I secured our winter feed for this winter, so we will be able to get by this winter. I believe I have secured a couple feed options. I secured a barley field, so I'm gonna go bale it up as green feed. It's gonna be barley. Now this sounds great, but it comes with a couple challenges. Number one, distance. I gotta take my equipment there to bale it up. Number two, I gotta move the bales back. Number three though, this is the big one. Nitrates. I don't know if you're familiar with nitrates. If you're a livestock owner, you might be, but I have to get it tested for nitrates. If it comes back high in nitrates, well, Aaron, can you feed it? Yeah, I can feed it, but I'm gonna have to mix it up. I'm gonna have to feed it differently than you typically would. With barley green feed, I'm not just gonna throw the bales in the feeder anyways. We're gonna be mixing it with slough hay, wild hay, whatever we have. The poor stuff probably, but you know, like wild hay essentially won't have nitrates. Nitrates are caused when a crop is under stress. I'm gonna quickly touch base on nitrates and how it affects our operation and what I gotta watch for this year when feeding animals crops that have been stressed all year. You know, all these fields have been stressed. Every single field in this area, I don't care where you go, is stressed or has been stressed. Whether it be frost, disease, drought, you name it, it's been stressed. So the nitrates come out to play. So I'm going to touch base on nitrates. Also, another thing I have to worry about or get tested for. So I'm going to have to get that feed tested for nitrates and ergots. Ergots are a fungus that grows on the crop. So I got to get tested for both of those because I don't want issues with either of those. I want to be safe. I would rather be safe than sorry, but I want to make sure I feed it up appropriately. Whether I have to get it tub grinded, I don't know. We'll figure that out. But the main thing here is I got feed for the winter. So I got lucky. That's all it comes down to. I got lucky. So with any of you folks that are in the drought-ridden areas that have to buy pellet rations and screenings, do bear in mind, get your ergot tests back. Ergots will show up in those pellet rations, whether they're grain screenings or grass seedings. I'm sorry, grass screenings. The ergots, it's a fungus that that grows on the plant, is harvested, and it can cause issues with the cattle. I'm not an expert in it, but I do know it constricts the blood vessels of the cattle, and you know that's where you're gonna get it. It's gonna affect the extremities of the cattle. So your ear tips, you're gonna have ears that are missing. I guess similar to frostbite, but you're gonna have, you know, tips of ears missing, maybe blotchy fur on the extremities, and they're gonna be, it's gonna affect the extremities, tails, whatever it may be, hoof problems. So bear that in mind. Please get your ergot tests done. If you are buying these rations, anyone that's selling these pellet rations will have a test available to you. So research that, look it up, especially if you're in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, you know, North Dakota, wherever you are that's affected by the drought. I know the drought even goes into Alberta. So make sure you get your feed tested for ergots and nitrates. Nitrates is going to be a big one out here. I know everything from what I've researched and talked and seen around the area is coming back higher in nitrates, even the straw. If our feed comes back high in nitrates, I'm gonna get a tub grinder in here and I'm gonna grind big piles mixed up. So I'm gonna grind, for example, probably one of these, like a pour bale. I'm gonna put a pour bale in there with a bale of green feed, and I'll have to feed with the grapple in the bucket, I guess, if that's the case. But there's another thing. With the barley comes the beards or the awns. BP and Ryan were talking about that in their videos. But I'm not too familiar with that. But apparently the barley you have a barbed barley and you have a smooth barley. So I'm really hoping this is a smooth one from what I tested after researching a little bit, watching those videos. It seems to be smooth. So I might be lucky, but I really don't want abscesses from the barley beards. But I'm sure a lot of that will get beaten off when it's baled up. So I don't know, that's another thing. But you know, bottom line, we have feed for the winter, so we're good. We should pull through this winter, and we're going to be planning for next winter. So I'm going to touch base as to next winter in a upcoming video, what we're going to do. I got a good game plan here I'm working on, so I got everything figured out. I'm planning for another drought year, that's for sure, because this year's bad. It can get worse than this. It can get a lot worse. if we have another year equivalent to this or even worse, you better have a good game plan. So we're trying to get a plan together here real quick. Well, let's talk about some nitrates while we're on the topic. Now, Aaron, what's all this nitrate talk about? Well, for those of you you crop guys, you cow guys, you might know about nitrates, but for those of you that do not know what nitrates are, this is just a briefing as to what they are, how they affect the animals. Let's use a cereal crop like oats. Oats can collect nitrates easily. So just say you have oats. Just say you're producing oats in a severe drought all year. Let's say you get an early frost. It gets frost stricken, but it pulls through. So obviously the production of that oats crop isn't going to be high yielding, but you can chop it down and use it as green feed. Okay, but why do you have to feed it sparingly or mix with other rations? Well, when a crop is under stress, whether it's disease, anything that impacts or stresses that plant is going to produce nitrates, and it takes a while for it to work its way out. But if you do cut a plant down high in nitrates and those animals are consuming it, it can cause a big slew of problems. Basically, one of the main problems is it works into the animal's bloodstream, and it decreases the amount of oxygen that that animal can carry through its blood to feed its body properly. So essentially you're starving that animal will start starving of oxygen. It can lead to death, you know, lameness, you'll have blue around cyanosis of the lips, etc. But it can cause a whole slew of problems. But generally, it binds to the blood and reduces or prevents oxygen, fresh oxygen from bonding to that blood and being carried to that animal's body systems. So, you know, to make a really complex situation simple, that's essentially what nitrates do. Now, ergots, why do I have to worry about ergots? Well, ergots bond to the crop as a fungus. Generally, it'd be more in a damper environment. So I don't know, I doubt that I'm gonna have ergots problems, but I am definitely taking a sample of our feed for nitrates and ergots. I wanna make sure that they are within safe ranges. If I find that the nitrate comes back a little higher than I want, so I want it somewhere in the 1,000 range, 1,000 to 1,400 ppm, parts per million. If it comes back more than that or significantly more, then I'm gonna have to think about mixing that ration. I'm gonna have to get a grinder in, and I'll have to grind it up and feed it with my grapple and bucket with, you know, wild hay, maybe a little bit of field hay, a little bit of slough hay. Mix it up so they're not getting too much. I know our water isn't gonna have nitrates in it, but that feed could. So that's just a gamble you got to take. You know, we're in a drought-stricken area. We're in an area where there is no feed, so you got to take what you can get. So I'm grateful that I found something. So that's what we're going to do about that. If it does come back testing high for nitrates or ergots, whatever it may be, ergots can cause abortions in your cows. You know, that's your moneymaker. You know, if you don't have calves the next year, you're not going to be in business. So I am grateful that I should be able to clamber onto enough feed, but it's gonna come at a price. I'm telling you, it's coming at a price. Even the lawn's going green again. You know, if we get a few more rains, man, the pastures might repair themselves a little bit. I'm really surprised. I was sure they were all dormant. I thought they were just done, but man, are they tough. Tough. I'm telling you, that's unbelievable to be hammered with 40 above, 35 above sun, no rain for how long? Less than 2 inches of rain all summer. Then this last 2 weeks we probably got close to 2 inches, which, yeah, we probably got more in this last week than we did all summer, almost guaranteed. But that's okay. That's, you know, it's not great, but hey, there's a little bit of green, so let's hope it comes back. Some of the alfalfa's trying to make a comeback here. This rain's a blessing, I'll tell you that much. I know it's not it's not enough, but man, it's something. It's something, right? Well, much like my old 566 baler, which needs to rest because she's gonna be barking up some barley up this pickup. So I am throwing in the towel. This is Aaron signing off. We will see you next weekend with an all new Prairie Sunset Ranch farm vlog. Who knows what the future will bring us. Catch you next week and have a great week. Bye for now.